Good morning, folks. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's strong enough to resurrect a dead fuel pump. The stories are real, the wrenches never stop turning. I'm your host, Nile Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you from the Car Connection workshop, where the smell of fresh oil and a little elbow grease is all part of our balanced breakfast. Around here, we don't just talk cars, we live them. Whether it's a 25-year-old Jeep Wrangler getting a second chance at life, or a Nissan Rogue getting its brakes back in order, or even a mystery leak that's got everyone scratching their heads. This is where we roll up our sleeves and get it done with a little wit, a little wisdom, and a whole lot of fun. The Car Connection isn't just about nuts, bolts, and diagnostics. It's about connection. Connection to our vehicles and to the people who drive them. To the community that keeps Niagara rolling, because when you fix a car, you're not just turning a wrench. You're restoring someone's confidence, freedom, and maybe even their sanity. We're here every week, Monday through Saturday, helping you keep your ride safe, reliable, and ready for whatever road lies ahead. So whether you're a weekend renter, a daily commuter, or someone who just wants to understand what that strange rattle really means, welcome aboard. Stick around for some shop talk, expert advice, a few good laughs, and maybe even a flashback service-based story once in a while. Got nothing at the moment. Well, if you're in the queue for the drive-thru, you know the deal. It's almost weekend. Yes, we've almost made it. And it's been a bit of a shorter week for those in Canada, coming off of a civic holiday long weekend. So the weekend is just ahead. A quick reminder, Fun Friday is tomorrow. Need your questions if you can help me out by noon on Friday so I can get the Saturday 1-hour Q&A, question and answer period, all put together ahead of schedule. So thank you in advance to all those who send your questions in, so that I can pick what I feel are the best 3 questions that work together, and it gives me enough time in an hour on Saturdays to unpack all 3. So if you get those into me by noon, motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com or nile@ccbusnet.com. BUS is in Sam, NET.com. I put that emailing information in the description of our YouTube videos as well as our podcast. So if you want to invite some of your fellow car enthusiasts, be it a fella or a fellette, it's quite all right that you do that. And you can let them know they can find us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Podbean, wherever they're pulling their podcast from. Just tell them, search Car Connection Workshop, and you'll find us there. Everything and all the details and more episodes and project details and links are available at carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. That's ccbusnet.com. That's our website, has been for decades now. You'll find everything on our homepage if you'd like to follow the build and repair work that we do and connect with our program partners. Just click on their logo to meet them. And thank you for supporting them by giving them your business, because we need them and we need you too. So thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. On the homepage, the top right-hand corner, are all the links that you need to connect with us. So that's our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensville on the web. Click on the businesses tab. We are the automotive professional on that site, created by our videographer, Skippy. And they have a lot of views every month. Not evermore. Yeah, that would work. 20,000 or so a month. That's pretty cool. And that's connecting the local businesses to the community, and the community to the local businesses. How cool is that? We have a merch store. It's put together by Freedom Expressions, which is a subsidiary of Total Freedom Addiction Campus in Buffalo, New York, Darien Center, New York. And so everything you order, shirts, hats, hoodies, your favorite coffee mug, which should be Car Connection, it gets delivered directly to you. They make it absolutely fresh and it's safe to pay online, absolutely. And all the proceeds, all 100%, turn back towards Total Freedom Addiction campuses, Canada and USA. And some exciting news, the Sydney, Manitoba campus that is facilitated by Rick and Robin are soon able to have the ladies there as well. So that's all coming together really, really well. And we'll keep you posted on that. If you or someone you know is struggling with an addiction, they're ready to deal with it, get them on our website, click on the logo for Total Freedom Addiction campuses, and check it out. Take a look at the testimonials and the campuses themselves, and a new life is waiting for them there. But they have to make that decision that that's what they want. We can't force them to do something that they don't want to do. So everything is there. iHeartRadio is our home library, but all our podcasts load directly to our YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed yet for our YouTube channel and you want to learn how to keep your vehicle long term, because mileage doesn't matter, friends, it's maintenance that matters. And when you do that, if you're not good at taking care of your vehicle maintenance, it doesn't matter how many vehicles you have and how much time you trade to make the money to pay for another vehicle. Until the maintenance plan kicks in, you're going to play the car game for a very, very long time. And just thinking about it is absolutely exhausting. It really is. This morning, we're going to have part number 2. Yesterday, we had Shocking, or something like that. What was the title yesterday? I forgot. It's shocking. It really is. Because it's shocking when we tell you that you have a suspension and steering system failure. And you go, what? How? I didn't hear anything. I didn't feel anything. Well, we're going to talk about those details today, because that's exactly how shocks fail. Shocks and McPherson Struts. McPherson Struts are just a glorious shock, but they have a lot of work to do to support your vehicle. So we're going to break that out in just a few moments, but we should have our morning swiggy. I got mine ready. I'm in good position this morning. I also have another summer Motormouth tech tip for you, number 29. Keep the cool in, and we'll have the daily weather for you as well. So let's get kicked into high gear here. You're getting your goodies from the drive-through window. You know the deal. Make sure you double check it. Get your crayons, your writing sticks. Crayola, our favorite. A pack of 16 seems to work very well. And a leaf bag. You never run out of room to write on something. So if you miss the podcast, you can collect it on our YouTube channel, Nile Motormouth Jenkins. So all those points of contact are in the top right-hand corner of the homepage of our website. So if you haven't taken a moment to subscribe, would you do that? Because here's how that works. Even though I know you're watching the videos and enjoying them, if you're not subscribed, the algorithms don't care. It doesn't help us. It doesn't push us out to more and more people, and that's what we want to do. Skippy and I want to reach as many people as we can, teaching them the basic fundamentals of vehicle ownership and maintenance, what it is, where it is, how it works, how you broke it, and how we can show you how to prevent from breaking it so you're not spending money on the same problems all the time. And then you can keep that older vehicle as long as you want. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the truth. As long as the thing isn't rotted out and it doesn't have serious weight loss, you can keep everything else going. But it doesn't mean you drive it till you hear something or drive it until it won't drive. That's not vehicle maintenance. That's what we call driving in the unknown. You have no idea the condition of your automobile, and then all of a sudden, here's a technical term, kafufnik. Everything goes bad all at once, and it's overwhelming. You don't have to do that. You can own and operate an older automobile and not be overwhelmed with ginormous, hairy, monstrous repair bills. that almost put you onto the defib machine. You know what I'm talking about, that bottom right-hand corner on the invoice, and you go, oh my, did it really take all that? And then some. I've had to deliver that to people, and then when I ask them, well, let me ask you this. When was the last time you actually paid attention to your car and spent some money on it? Spend money on the car? Why would we want to do that? There's your answer. There's your dinner. That's for sure. Well, thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, for providing their knowledge through 50 years experience as fiduciaries. Folks, don't wait another minute. These are my brothers from other mothers, and I've known them 20 plus years, and they've helped me through some very serious financial issues and woes, some very tough rows to hoe, as we would say on the farm. If you have an investment portfolio, how well is it performing? Where is it? What's it doing for you? You're carrying debt. You have no idea how you're going to see around it, through it, over it, or under it. You don't have an estate plan, but you have children at home. You have a checkbook, bank account. You got stuff everywhere. A mortgage. You know what's nice? It's nice not dealing with the banks anymore for a mortgage. I just never felt comfortable there at all, or like I was a person. And it's great to be treated like a person with competitive rates. And if you have questions, the ladies out in Winnipeg at IG Wealth Management are fantastic at getting back to you in a heartbeat. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, do you have anything like that set up at home? If you don't, insurance works like this. It may seem like an expense till you need it. It's a very wise investment. So on that, 3, 2, 1, let's have our morning beverage. We call it our morning swiggy. So if you're brand new to the channel, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to join our Motormouth community on Instagram, Facebook, and Stevensville on the web. And while you're there, click on our YouTube channel and become a new subscriber. We enjoy our new subscribers, and send us a comment. Drop a comment. Watch the video. Drop a comment. Get in the conversation. 3, 2, 1. Something's missing there this morning. I don't know what that is. They did put honey in there. I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling the vibe there. Well, thank you to the team at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls. Kathy, David, and Dan Grimo, Next Generation, they're building Canada since 1931. So if you're looking at adding an addition, you're going to need some blocks. You're going to need some rebar. You're going to need some angle iron. And you're going to need some building supplies. Now, they don't have wood or aluminum or all those things, hinges and nuts and bolts. But they have all the tools and equipment to get that addition started. So you got to have a foundation. Then you got to put some blocks on that foundation, and that's where they come in. They help to make that foundation a solid one, so you can gather all the gravel and blocks that you'll need to do that. If you're looking to create some beautiful hardscape landscaping around your home, you may be a walkway, maybe a patio, or some outdoor living space. They have everything you need, from designer stones, patio stones, interlocking brick, and fabulous materials for you to create some beautiful hardscape landscaping things around your home for you to enjoy, and that special living space where you can just hang out in your own yard. Get in touch with Kathy Grimo if you're looking to have a contractor that you can count on to do the work for you. Not only design it, estimate it, start the job, finish the job. You're in the right place. So connect with the Next Generation, Kathy, David, and Dan Grimo at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, 905-356-2221. You can visit them on our website as well. So let's say thank you to them for providing us with our daily weather report. And here it is. In the last 24 hours, on the rainometer here in the Niagara region in the south shores of the Lake Erie, 0.05 of an inch. And the next 24 hours, this just changed actually. On the rainometer, 0.05 of an inch they're saying in the next 24 hours. Right now, 72 degrees. And I got to tell you, it's humid out there this morning right away. 72 degrees right now, mostly clear. Feels warmer, about 73. Cloudy conditions from 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. with drizzle expected around 4 p.m. today. And today's temperature range will be 72 to 85. Going to feel more like 73 to 86. So we're going to top out today at 85. Overnight low will be 72. Yesterday we hit 87. In the shop, we were almost 90 degrees in the shop. It was a little tough. It was a little tough yesterday getting stuff done. I feel a little drained today, but I'll be all right. Overnight low last night was 63. It was actually not bad, but the humidity was still with us. So make sure you stay hydrated out there. That means drinking H2O, water, before you become hydrated, and it makes you go a little weird. And we don't want you going weird on us. So thank you to Earl and Louise Grant. Husband and wife team. Mama Louise going to love all over you. And Earl, the car guy, is going to provide you with a low mileage quality vehicle at fair prices. They have in-house leasing and financing available to you. They don't push, pull, and drag any junk into their building or onto their lot. They only provide you with the best. Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store, and it is worth your drive. If they don't have the vehicle you're looking for, you need to talk to Earl, the car guy, because they have the resources over 25 years to find those low mileage quality vehicles and provide them to you at great prices. So it's sometimes, and I waited a whole year, and I pretty much had given up on finding a Toyota FJ Cruiser that I could financially afford to purchase, because Tony Miele, my CFP, said, here's your budget. Don't call me for $1.99. This is it. If it's going to happen, it has to happen for this number, all in. Okay, I won't call. I promise. And I didn't. But it took a while. So sometimes you got to wait to find that goodie, that nice ride. So check in with Earl and Louise. Let them know what you're looking for, and let them do the work for you. You're in a safe place to experience one of the greatest vehicle purchases you've ever had in your entire life. So let's get into it this morning. Are you ready? You got your crayons ready? Perfect. Because this is part 2, riding off the back of yesterday's podcast. It's shocking. And just a real quick recap. How many of you know what shocks really do? That they're attached at each end. Yeah, that's good. Comfort and ride purpose. Shock absorption. Yeah, that's good. Spring oscillations, ride comfort control, and weight control. Okay. So that's what that's a very short overview of what we talked about yesterday. Now we're going to unpack some of this stuff, because this is an area where your vehicle's performance and handling can disappear so gradually that you don't even notice. You will, and I'll tell you, you will not notice anything different from your vehicle, because you adjust to the ride of the vehicle. So until you hear something going crash, boom, bang, or what is that rattle that I hear when I go over bumps? And it's there now all the time, even if I'm not hitting a bump. So I don't know what's going on. So we don't want to wait until those things happen. But here's how suspension and steering all works together. And it's really important. It's like an orchestra going on underneath your vehicle where you can't see any of those items really until we get it up on the lift. We get it off the ground. You really don't see those items, but we take for granted, just like we do, this morning, everyone's waking up. Maybe not yet. Possibly. I've been up for a while. But we all wake up and know the sun is going to come up in the east and that the moon will come out later on, and the moon is probably still out right now. We take for granted that that happens every day. But with our shocks, it's suspension. See, suspension is different than steering. And so I'm going to separate that out. I want to focus on suspension. That means what's holding your vehicle up. That's right. Shocks are not just there for ride control. They're supporting your vehicle and creating downforce at the same time. So let's get into it this morning and crack this thing open so you get a better understanding. It's not just about the wheels are on, you put gas in it and you scoot down the road and nothing's falling off. Their shocks and McPherson struts are wear and tear items. Every bump, every jounce, every speed bump in the parking lot, where the Big W store is, those ones, I think if you got a good speed, you probably could jump the Grand Canyon. Honest to goodness. I stay away from those things, those speed bump things. They're really, I call them ball joint bashers because that's what they are, just like potholes. So I've got 5 things for you this morning. Let's unpack it so that we can start our day. Make yourself a great day. Hope your order was good at the drive-thru. Number 1, here's something that I touched on yesterday is the Ontario, I'm talking about Canada and Ontario, the Ontario roadways. You need to have, your vehicle has to have a safety inspection. So if it's passing from one person to the other, it has to have a safety inspection. You're buying a vehicle, whether it be new or pre-owned, it has to have a safety inspection. Now, here's what it used to tell us, and it still does when it comes to your suspension components, the things that are holding your vehicle up. Okay? And we're going to unpack this so you get a better understanding why this particular area in the safety manual given to us by the Ministry of Transportation states this for shocks and McPherson struts. It doesn't matter whether they're leaking. It doesn't matter whether you can see that they're not working at all. They just need to be attached at either end. So remember I said crash, boom, bang? Yeah, we don't want a shock or a strut coming flying out from underneath your vehicle. That's what they're concerned about. But it goes deeper than that. And that's where I'm going to unpack this. Myself and some of my friends in the automotive service and repair business, we challenge this one all the time with the ministry inspectors and go, that needs to change. Because if the shocks and struts only need to be attached at either end, if they're not working right, the vehicle's not stable. It's not safe. Well, that's the rule. Okay, so now we're going to unpack it, and then at the end of our conversation, the question to you is, do you think it's right that they just, in a safety inspection, we just need to tell you that they're attached at either end? You let me know what you think. Because when it comes to safety, I don't take a chance, folks. Because it's that moment you decide to compromise things, it's going to get you. And that was one of the things that my military boss, automotive instructor, said. He goes, the moment you stop respecting equipment, it's going to catch you. And the moment you decide to compromise your work quality of your workmanship, it's going to catch you. Well, here we go. So number one is attached at both ends. Keep that in the back of your mind. Not too far back, but far enough. There's things that we need to check in order for us to verify just how well is the suspension supporting your vehicle. So here's what we can do. We have a manual, we have a tape measure, and we have a road map. And the road map shows us points of height that we need to measure your vehicle on a flat surface. So there's a couple things we need to do here. Even though we may have looked at the shocks and the McPherson struts and everything looks fine, yes, they're attached at both ends. But we see some telltale signs like oil drooling down the side of a shock would tell us that that shock is done. If the oil's coming out, the seals are leaking, that shock is not performing well. It's not supporting the vehicle. It's not doing a whole lot of anything, but it's telling us it's time for me to go. Next, we look at the springs, but we really, unless they're broken, we really can't tell you, are they working really or not? We can jounce the vehicle, put our knee on the bumper and give it a really good push down. The vehicle should go down and rise and fall and settle, just like that. Down, release it, rise, and settle. You ever seen a vehicle going down the road, especially on the rear of the vehicle, and you're seeing it kind of boing, 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 every bump they hit, or the wheel, one of the wheels is bouncing like a basketball? Yeah, suspension is done. That means the shocks, the coils, the package is done. That's what that means. It's not going to self-heal. You're going to destroy the tires long before they're due. And that vehicle's not safe. It is not safe to drive. So what we can do is we get the vehicle in on a flat spot inside the shop. And in my own shop, I have it marked where the wheels need to be so that I know you're on the flattest part of the shop, because the floor is tapered so that any spills go to the oil drain interceptor. So if I'm way over there and I spill my coffee, it will make its way to the drain. So finding the flat spot was quite tricky, but we have it. And then we need to check the tire pressures all the way around to make sure they're all set exactly the same. Now we go to the manual for your year, make, and model. It's going to show us where we need to measure with a measuring tape from a point to the floor. And then we record that information on all points that the manual is telling us to take. These are road height measurements. So at the end of the day, we have all the measurements. We've taken them all. Now we can compare them to what are these actual specifications, and that will tell us if your vehicle is riding low. If it's riding lower than the road height specifications in the manual, guess what that's telling us? Your vehicle's sagging. Yeah, kind of like what happens to us as we get older. Let's park that. Move on. Yeah, so road height is a major indicator your vehicle is riding at the correct road height or it's sagging. If it's sagging, that tells us right away that we have shocks, springs, and McPherson struts that are not working right. How do we determine which one? Front of the car or the back? By the road height, by the measurements we've taken. So let's say, as an example, I'll say 10 inches, okay? So I'm to take a measurement just ahead of the rear wheel to the road surface, which would be the shop floor. Okay, it's representing the road surface. Say I come up with 8 1/4 inches. It's supposed to have 10. 8 1/4. So there's a problem there, right? Yes, what would that be? The vehicle is sagging. It's squatting at the back, but you wouldn't even notice. And that's why I want to say and talk about this, because Many times, people have no idea your vehicle suspension is done because it happens and wears so gradually, you don't notice. It sneaks up on you. And it's not until either the crash, boom, bang happens, you're hearing something banging and clanging around underneath your vehicle. You got a shock that's coming apart, that we recognize that. So for my own customers, in an oil change, I would quickly go around the vehicle and record those road heights. That's what I would do, so that I could check and see how's their suspension doing. That way I could bring it to the table and say, the back of the vehicle is hanging 1.5 inches. We need to get some new suspension on there. We need to get some shocks and some whether they're coil-over shocks or McPherson struts. They all do the same thing. They support the vehicle and give you the proper road height and the suspension and stability. That's number 3, stability to keep you on the road. That's what it does. And a lot of people really don't realize that how important shocks and struts and coil springs and leaf springs, how important those components are, because you don't see them. They're hidden underneath. How many say, I think I'm just going to lay on the ground here in the gravel on the driveway and have a look at my suspension? Your neighbor goes, you're going to do what? Yeah, I just want to check things out, make sure everything's all right under there. And you go, what's that thing? I don't know. There's the problem. If you don't even know what you're looking at, how do you know whether it's good, bad, or ugly? That's where I come in, is I need to take those measurements, compare them to the manual for your specific vehicle. That's going to tell me, is there stability? Can your vehicle absorb spring oscillations? Remember I just talked about, you ever seen a vehicle going down the road and it's bouncing a lot? And as they're hitting different dips in the road and bumps in the road, it's bouncing, but it's not settling and stabilizing. That's what we're talking about. But you don't want it to get that bad, because then the tail wags the dog. What you're seeing going on there is a vehicle that is absolutely unstable and unsafe, because that person hits a bump large enough, the vehicle will actually leave the road. It'll bounce and you'll lose control of it. Not good. And then to try and gain control of that vehicle that's unstable, not going to happen. It's going to do whatever it wants to do and how it's going to do it, and take you to a resting spot somewhere in the rhubarb patch. So shocks are there to absorb spring oscillations. And what's an oscillation? When your vehicle, as I mentioned, we put our knee on the bumper, we push down hard and then quickly release it. The vehicle should rise and then settle. That's the springs doing their job, whether it's leaf springs or whether it's coil springs. That's what their job is to absorb that boing. Exactly. Yeah. I got that from cartoons. Not too many years watching Bugs Bunny. He was a good teacher. Number 5, ride, control, and performance. Remember these 3 things. That's what your suspension provides for you. It gives you ride control, and ride performance. If they're not working, then the vehicle's working against you. And this is where the problem happens, is that if you have to perform some kind of evasive maneuver because someone else around you is being a road idiot, and there's lots of those out there, you need the stability of your shock absorbers to help you make that maneuver. So a quick hard right and a hard left to get around the problem. If the suspension's hanging, that vehicle is going to go out of control. because the weight will transfer to the soft side of the vehicle. In other words, the side of the vehicle shocks and struts are not working. So the weight of the vehicle will squash down the car, and now you have a thing called inertia. The weight transfer will cause the vehicle to go into a yaw, and you lose control of it. And it's all due to the fact that you have suspension that's not working, and it's not working properly. So it's very important, friends, to have your suspension checked every single time that vehicle goes in, even just for an oil change, to make sure that we're sending you out the door in a vehicle that's safe, reliable, that it can control its ride, the ride control, and performance. So just remember those three words: shocks and McPherson struts, and your suspension. That's what makes up your suspension that supports your vehicle. And we're going to talk about the last thing in a minute: downforce. They provide ride control, and performance. And they disappear so gradually. I'll say this: 9 out of 10 of you have no idea. If I asked you today, how's your suspension doing? What's your mileage at? 230,000, 220,000 kilometers. When was it checked last? Really checked. Road height is how you check it. Just looking to see if things are leaking, because you can still have shocks and struts that aren't leaking, but the gas has come out of the cartridge, has leaked out. Now you're just sitting on coil springs, but you don't notice because it's not bouncing yet. It hasn't gotten to that point, but the vehicle is sinking downward. So last but not least, so when the suspension is working properly, it's providing not only support of the weight of the vehicle and proper road height, but number two, it's producing downforce. So it is pushing the tires, each corner, each tire is pushing it against the road surface for you so that you have traction control. So those things that I just talked about, the ride, the control, the performance, cannot be met if the shocks and McPherson struts are not trying to push your tires through the road surface. That's what gives you gripology. I hope I was able this morning to give you a visual on how your vehicle works with all those things that are attached underneath where you don't get to see them. They're under there. Hopefully, they're attached at both ends. But I hope you can also see why on a safety inspection, just having the shocks connected at both ends is good enough for a safety inspection. Because a vehicle that doesn't have the correct road height, it's sagging, it doesn't have stability, it doesn't have the ability to absorb spring oscillations, that's the boing, and 5 is definitely not able to give you safe ride control, and performance. It's not. Just because they're attached doesn't mean they're working. That's where we come in to determine yes or no, not maybe so, that they are working. They're attached and they're doing their job. The vehicle road height is correct to the manufacturer's specs. We've got stability. We have spring oscillations being dampened when the vehicle goes into a bump or into a dip in the road. When you come out of that dip, the car's not wanting to shoot across the road into the other lane or out into the forest. That's not what we want to happen to you. So checking your suspension at every oil change is important. And that's why, no disrespect to the drive-through oil change shops, you don't have a licensed automotive service technician looking at your vehicle. And I'm going to leave you with a prime example. Last vehicle on in the shop yesterday was the 2008 Nissan Rogue. Oil change time. But it's not just oil change. It's look things over and do some maintenance and then kick it out the door. So while I'm under there, taking off the oil filter, taking off the side panel, getting my face full of dirt and my hair. Yeah, messed up my hair. That's okay. It all washes off. You got to take this side panel off, which is a pain in the butt to get to this teeny weeny little oil filter, not much bigger than a lemon, pretty much. I looked at it, I started laughing. I go, that's it? This is the first oil change on this vehicle since we rescued it. And I didn't realize how teeny weeny the oil filters are. I'm going, wow, is that even worth spinning on there? Anyhow, while I'm under there and the oil's draining, I'm looking around, I'm doing my I Spy, and I see something. I know, you're probably saying, can't you put your dark glasses on? It's going to cost. Do the oil change, but don't look at anything. Yeah, I used to get that all the time. So I'm laying on my creeper, and I'm looking, I'm going, Houston, we have a problem. The beginnings of an inner CV boot is starting to leak. How did I spot that? Because I'm looking, and I know what I'm looking at, and I know why I'm looking at it is for that specific reason. I want to make sure if I see some grease coming out, that means the boot's cracking, and the grease is starting to make its way out. So we have an axle shaft that's going to need to be changed out, and I will definitely do that on video for you because that is a common issue. And in the parts world now, it's cheaper just to buy an axle that's ready to go in than for you to pay me to pull the axle out, get 2 CV boot kits, because if we're doing the inboard boot, we're doing the outboard boot on the axle shaft, and that's labor right there because the tulip housings have to be cleaned and get all the grease out completely, wash them out, repack them, separate them from the axle. If it sounds like it's a big job, it turns into a big job, and it's labor. It's cheaper now just to pull the old one out and put a new one right back in, and that job's done. So can't complain. That's the original axle. It's 2008. Do the math. How old is it? Right? How old is it? Well, we're in 26, so in 2 more years it'll be 28. So how old is that vehicle? It ain't no spring chicken, but to say it's lived all this amount of life on the planet, not in the wrecking yard, and now it needs an axle shaft, that's not too bad, right? Not too bad for a young vehicle, 2008. So make it a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Here's your summer Motormouth tech tip. Keep the cool in, and here's how you do it. Listen up, folks. Keep the cool in. Check your tint. Motormouth tip number 29. Window tint isn't just for style. It keeps your interior cooler and protects it from UV damage. If your tint's peeling or faded, get it redone right. Legal limit, of course. Keeps the seats from baking and your ride from feeling like an oven. And I'll tell you, I have window factory tint on the 2008 Rogue, on the not on the side windows front, but the side windows rear and the hatch. And I'll tell you, it makes a huge difference to the temp. On the FJ Cruiser, I had window tint done right away, and also what they call an eyebrow, because that windshield, it's short. It's not huge. It's short, but it's long, and it has 3 wipers to have to clear it. But I found that the top of the windshield, the sun would just absolutely blind me. So I had an eyebrow put on the inside, 6-inch eyebrow on the inside, made all the difference in the world. But I'll tell you, window tint and a sunshade are a must. Keeps the temperatures inside the vehicle way cooler, 15 to 20%, as high as 25%, and that makes it easier for the air conditioning to get you cooled down as cool as a cucumber. So till tomorrow, enjoy your day. Happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you're notified of all the new videos that come out every single week. 2 for Tuesday, 1 every Friday, and you're going to learn the 5 things all the time. What it is, where it is, how it works, how it breaks, how it ends up costing you money, and we don't want you to do it all over again. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you in the next one. Peace, patience, and kindness always. Bye for now.